Today's video is gonna be focusing on Oris and their Diver 65 watches. But before that, I want to show you guys how I've been storing these Orises, and I've stored them in these watch rolls from Tempomat, a brand from Milan that we came across a while ago. Watch rolls are really popular. I love having the really colorful ones because I think it's always nice with a splash of colors, and especially through these watches that doesn't have so much color, as you will see soon. The roll has really high quality and has these buttons to open and close it. As you can hear, it's quite robust. And inside this watch roll of 3, we have 3 beautiful Oris watches. First one from the 70s, one from 2022, and one from 1965. It's truly great to have a watch roll for 3 watches, because there you can really see and also display the watches. And I will put the link in the description for Tempomat, so if you want to get your own. But enough about the watch roll, and let's dig more into these watches. During this video I will go through all 3 watches. I will give you a detailed description about all of them, and to give you the history of this Oris Diver 65. So as I said, I will go through all 3 of these watches. But what connects them? Yeah, they come from the same brand, obviously, Oris, but also the same collection. But the one from the left is actually the original Diver 65 from 1965, which is quite amazing. It's in very used condition, but still really cool. And you can see the watch in the middle, which is the Oris Social Club, which is a watch that is created by Oris for each of their social clubs. They have around 50 of them now, I think, and they just keeps growing, and I will show you more details of it later. And the watch on the right is a slightly later version of the Diver, and this one is from the 70s, but the difference is that this one is in amazing condition, because that one is actually new old stock and it hasn't been used since the 70s. But let's start with the main star of this show, at least for me. This is the Oris Social Club watch, and this specific version is the Stockholm version. So they produce a watch for each different chapter. And what are these chapters? Yeah, basically there's Facebook groups for people to discuss Oris and their watches. I mean, they have been growing rapidly, these groups, and has been extremely popular. They're supported by Oris, but driven mainly by enthusiasts. The watch itself is Oris Diver 65, a traditional model that they have been extremely successful with lately. But this is actually the first time they have used a white dial on this, which makes it extra special. It is a 40mm Diver 65, so it's one of their larger models. It comes on this leather strap that is black with these small stitches that I think fits the watch really great. I know a lot of people that has this watch have put it on a steel link, and so did I. I think that really makes the watch even nicer. But when you turn this watch around is what makes this extra special, because here is the engraved logo of the Oris Social Club, and as I said, this is the Stockholm version. So the Stockholm version has the Swedish City Hall on the backside. I think this really shows Oris' true DNA, that they truly care about their enthusiasts and their kind of followers. I think this, for me personally, has been a game changer and is one of the reasons why I love Oris so much. Here is actually one of the reasons that I wanted to make this video, because when you see this watch on picture, I don't think, especially on the website, it makes it justified, because the dial isn't as white as it looks sometimes. It's more eggish, I would say. You can really see it when you see the contrast between the indexes. So that's something you should really check out for. Here you see again, it's been quite well used, this watch, which I think is reasonable because it is one of the coolest Orises I think in the current collection. And as I said before, Oris does this for each of their chapters. So check out if there is a Oris Social Club chapter from your hometown or your country, because if there is, there's most probably a watch for your country and social club as well. One of the improvement potential of this watch, yeah, there should be something on the dial that actually shows that it's a social club watch. That's something maybe to think for in the future. So now it's time to put this watch back and look at one of the other Oris divers. And this is actually one of the Oris Star Diver. This one is from 1970s and have actually never been used. You can see that on the condition. You see the hang tag is still there. This watch is just super cool, not only because of the condition, but also because this is the early designs of Oris divers, and also they did a reissue of this together with Fratello. So there is a Fratello Oris that looks almost like this, but it's a brand new one. But of course it's cooler to look at the original one, and as you see, the condition is absolutely spotless. This is quite rare actually when you look at these watches, and you will see the other one coming up here soon that is much more beaten up. And the watches back in the days were not as robust as they are today. So let's look at this one that I'm talking about. This is the original Oris Diver 65. Yeah, it's called Oris Diver back in the days, and this is the watch that a lot of the inspiration for the current Diver 65 is taken from actually. And you can really see the similarities to this one and the new Oris Social Club watch that I showed you before. This one is much more beaten up than the watch I checked out before. The movement isn't perfect, the hands isn't perfect, but the patina is great. It has aged really well, and I think you can really see that on the indexes actually. And I'm really happy I get to have these three quite iconic Oris watches in the same room. I think that's really cool. And of course we have to have them side by side, so you really see the similarities and the differences. The biggest difference is the size. The similarities are much more. I think the indexes, the hands and the bezel looks very similar, and it's fun to have these beside each other. And on my wrist you can see this 40mm one. It wears really neat because it's so thin, but it takes quite a lot of presence on the wrist because of the white dial that really pops. And then we have the original Diver 65. This one is actually only 36mm, which is quite small for a diver these days, but that surely contributes to this really retro looking watch. And last but not least, the Oris Star Diver. This one is actually also only 36mm in the diameter of the bezel, but as well gives a really retro looking dive watch look. And as you might have noticed earlier in the video, we do have another watch. Yeah, no surprise, it's gonna be an Oris, but which one? And I also store this one in this Tempomat roll. And I think this green color actually matches the watch that's gonna be inside really well. Let me know what you think when you see it. And in this roll we have the Diver 65 date in full bronze with a black dial. This watch did not look like this when it was brand new. It was much more shiny and much more goldish. It has actually aged quite well. This watch I think is 2 years old now and has gotten a really nice looking pattern. The bronze has turned much more dark brown, I would have to say. I think this was a nice addition to the Diver 65 lineup, because before the bronze divers were only these cotton candy with these kind of crazy dials. I think those are also cool, but I do think the bronze matches much better with this black dial. And this Oris Diver 65 is actually only 38mm, so this is their smaller versions. So, which means that it's 2mm smaller than the Oris Social Club watch. And you can really see the patina and how brown it has gotten and how even actually the patina is, which is really nice. And of course we don't compare them. The 2mm size difference makes a huge difference. I think they both have their pros and cons, and I love to have them beside each other. And this is how it looks on my 16.5cm wrist. I do think maybe the 38mm case fits me a little bit better, but I do think there's occasions when you want a smaller and a bigger watch. So a quick summary of what you've seen in this video. We have the original Oris Diver 65 that is actually produced and sold 1965 in London. My research found that. And then we have the one from the 70s, the Oris Star diver, that has had this reissue already, together with Fratello. Amazing condition. Truly cool watch to have a closer look at. And then we have the star of the show, I think, the Oris Social Club, which really shows how much Oris cares about their fans and the community. Make sure to check out if there is a chapter where you are based. I will put a link in the description of how to find the Stockholm Oris Social Club. And last but not least, the full bronze Diver 65. It's a fun little addition to this review, and I hope you enjoyed checking out all these 4 watches with me. And with that said, we're gonna thank you guys for watching this video. And I give you a quick look how it actually is seen out in daylight. We have a lot of snow here in Stockholm at the moment, so you will get to see that also. And again, I just can't stop looking at the back of this case. I actually managed to capture a photo of the inspiration to the logo. Here you have the Stockholm City Hall in the background. And with that said, we want to thank you guys for watching this video. We're very happy to have shared all these beautiful Orises with you. Make sure to let us know what you think. Join an Oris Social Club chapter, and make sure also to subscribe and like this video for more content. Thank you guys, and see you again soon.